Today we are going to look at intentional high school planning. This is actually step 3 in the process that freshmen have been going through this year. So they first started with Academy Tours and Miss Pearlie's classes. Then they worked on their ILP in order to figure out how they learn best and some careers that might be appropriate for them based on their interests. And then today we are going to look at rigorous class choices. And then next they will create a 4-year plan so that they can see what they plan to do with the remaining high school sections so that they can make intentional high school scheduling choices. Then a week later, they will choose their classes. And then after they've had some time to process, they will have an advising session with the person that's going to be their counselor for the next upcoming years. Okay. So the purpose of today is to explore what AP, IB, DC, and advanced all mean, and why students should consider taking one type of class versus another. The table of contents, the information that we'll cover today, we'll talk about the jargon so that everybody understands what those letters mean. We'll look at admissions. We'll talk about what general ed means. We'll talk about graduation requirements. We'll review a couple of transcripts, and then briefly talk about what being an IB diploma candidate looks like or what that means. Okay, so to begin with, the jargon. What do all the letters mean? Advanced, pre-IB, and accelerated all mean the same thing. So they refer to a class that's going faster or that is going deeper. And it's a natural progression or precursor to AP, IB, or dual credit work. In high school, when we use the words AP, we are referring to College Board AP. It is a college level class that is taught in a high school. The expectation is that the students are reading and writing at a college level. At the end of the course, they will take an exam, and that exam will determine whether or not they'll receive college credit, and the classes are weighted. This is an example of a course equivalency chart. On the left-hand side, in the blue, you can see the names of AP classes. And the middle left column, you can see the scores from the test that a student would have to earn in order to earn college credit. The middle right column shows the number of credit hours that a college would award. And then on the far right would be the name of the college class. And so it shows you that what that equivalency would look like. In class, we had students look at APHG, the score, the credit hours, and then what the name of the college course would be. Anybody can look this up by going to the College Board website and searching up those equivalencies and cross-referencing it based on college and AP exam. Next is IB. It stands for International Baccalaureate. IB classes are college level classes that are taught in high school. They also expect college level reading and writing. And then at the conclusion of the course, students take an exam in order to determine whether or not they get college credit. These classes are also weighted, but they are only offered to juniors and seniors. So IB has 2 options. You can be an IB diploma candidate or an IB course candidate. IB is international, so everywhere in the world where IB is offered, it is all of the same. So the courses are the same, the content is the same, and the teachers are trained in the same way. Atherton is the only JCP option that offers IB. So they're only public school in the area that offers IB. To be an IB course candidate means that you need to take at least one IB course, either your junior or your senior year. TOK, which stands for Theory of Knowledge, is available for students who take at least 3 IB classes, and it links the IB philosophy together in all of the classes. IB Theory of Knowledge will satisfy the arts and humanities requirement for graduation. An IB diploma candidate is a little bit different. These are students who are interested in pursuing the IB diploma that is internationally recognized. It is awarded based on a point value scoring system. So it's not just the courses that students take, but how they score within those courses as well. Dual credit, or DC, stands for courses that are offered to high school students by colleges or universities. Atherton offers several variations, so it could be taught by a qualified high school teacher at the high school, or it could be facilitated by a high school teacher at the high school but taught by a college professor, or students can leave campus and go to a college campus to take the class. There is scholarship money that can be used to pay for these. So students get 2 CTE Work Ready scholarships and then 2 other scholarships to pay for these. For dual credit, you do earn both high school and college credit if it is an approved dual credit class. You get a class posted to your high school transcript and one posted to your college transcript. Grades are weighted. To be eligible for dual credit, you do have to meet a GPA requirement, and that GPA requirement is set by the college or university. There is such a thing called a transfer equivalency chart, and in order to see how a certain class would transfer, you would look it up on the transfer equivalency. And so if I am taking a class at U of L and I want to transfer to Western, I would look that transfer equivalency up on Western's website, and it would show me what those classes would transfer as. Okay, next we're going to talk about college admission and sort of loop in why these different types of courses matter, why rigor matters. So rigor, it's not just about your GPA, it's not just about your ACT score, rigor matters as well. So when we talked about this with the kids, we talked about how college admissions looks at more than just GPA or ACT. And rigor actually refers to the academic challenge of classes. So not just one class or 2 classes, but as your whole schedule as a whole, and how rigorous it is. So a rigorous class is going to prepare students by teaching them and having them exercise skills that are useful in school, but also the business world and in life. We stressed with the students that one of the biggest predictors of college success, and by college success it would be going ahead and earning your degree in college, one of the biggest predictors is looking at strength of schedule in high school. So the more rigorous a student's schedule is, the more likely they are in order to be successful through post-secondary school. Then we moved on to talk about Gen Ed. Many students didn't really know what Gen Ed meant. They'd heard that phrase, but they really were not able to explain what this meant or what it was. So Gen Ed means general education. A lot of the college credits earned in high school through IB, AP, or dual credit can be applied to a student's Gen Ed, or at least that portion of their degree. And it does make up the first part of most degrees. It's kind of the foundation. It is required curriculum and generally takes about 2 years. And we discussed as a group how it mirrors the topics of high school graduation. And then step 4, we had them look through the graduation requirements just as a reminder of the things that they needed, and talked with them about how we could add some rigor to their schedule. We talked about how we could look at some of the classes that are needed for graduation, and if students didn't want to add rigor there, that maybe there were some electives that they could choose to try and tackle to add some rigor in that aspect. Then I had them look at some transcripts. At this point, freshman students have no idea what transcripts look like, and so we reviewed some transcripts and talked about some trends. This particular student's transcript, one of the things that I pointed out with the students was that this person did really well their 10th, 11th, and 12th grades of high school. However, they didn't challenge themselves very much, and so they ended with a 3.6. Okay. So their freshman year, their grades were lower, at least in math, but they did relatively well for the rest of high school with low challenge. And then we compared it to this next student who had a similar GPA. Their grades were a little lower, but they chose to challenge themselves with several AP and or IB classes. And I stressed to them the importance of having a more solid background in those rigorous classes. So both students ended up with similar GPAs despite their grades being different, but this particular student's transcript, the one that's being shared right now, this student used the class offerings to their advantage. This particular student was another example, and we talked about how planning is really important. So this particular student was a diploma candidate, and they were required in order to successfully complete everything that they needed, they really needed to plan. And so we talked about how with the next session being intentional about doing their 4-year plan. Okay, so now what is an IB diploma candidate? What does it even mean? So people who want to pursue an IB diploma have to meet certain criteria within their scheduling. So they have to complete one class from groups 1 through 5, and the groups are listed up here, and then also an additional class. So they can have a group 6, or they can pick one of the classes from the other groups to be their group 6. They must have 3 higher level classes, 3 standard level classes, complete theory of knowledge, and that does include the essay and presentation that goes along with it. They need to complete their extended essay and their community activity service project, and then at the end, they must score 24 points. So they can earn 12 from HL exams, they can earn 9 from SL exams, and then up to 3 from their TOK, CAS project, and EE. All right, so at this point, we talked with students about what the upcoming things were that they should be paying attention to. So an IB diploma meeting workshop was offered, and then we did 4-year planning, and then a scheduling lesson occurred and then class selection, and then one-on-one advising with a counselor. At the end of this presentation are some links if you want to go through and get some additional information. So this is actually linked in your child's ILP Google Classroom. They'll be able to pull it up and share this with you.